Lee Summit is your destination for big city vibes and small town charm.
Head to the downtown Lee Summit Farmers Market, where local meets fresh. Then grab a cup of coffee and discover a variety of shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. End the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Hello, Lee Summit. I'm Laura, and this is your flash briefing for the week of April 7th. City Council meet for regular session Tuesday night, 6 in Council Chambers and City Hall. Meetings are open to the public or watched live on the city's YouTube channel. If you can't watch, catch the recorded meeting on demand on the YouTube channel or by subscribing to the Council Debrief newsletter, which breaks down 3 to 4 key agenda items. Subscribe at cityofls.net. Help keep medications out of waterways by participating in National Drug Take Back Day on April 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event is a safe and convenient way to dispose of unwanted over-the-counter and prescription drugs. Drop-off locations include the Lee Summit Police Department, the Lee Summit Medical Center, and the Places Restaurant at John Knox Village. Your feedback is needed on the city's capital improvement plan, which outlines anticipated city infrastructure improvements for fiscal years 2026 through 2030. The online comment period runs through April 21st on the city's website. Comments can also be submitted in person at the April 24th Planning Commission meeting. And celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Lee Summit Fire Department at a fun-filled open house on April 19th from 9 a.m. to noon at Fire Station Number 3, located at 2023 Northwest Shamrock Avenue. Bring the whole family to tour the fire station and walk through an inflatable house to learn about fire safety. Don't miss this opportunity to honor the legacy and join the celebration. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
I'm Assistant Chief Jim Eden.
And I'm Battalion Chief Ben Hicks.
And today we're at Lee Summit Fire Station 3. Fire Station 3 was part of the 2016 no tax increase general obligation bond for public safety initiatives. The station was built and occupied in August of 2020. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we've not been able to give tours or have an actual ribbon cutting. So we want to invite you in today to give you the opportunity to see what goes on within a Lee Summit Fire Department station.
Let's go take a tour. This is our admin side of the facility. We use this side mainly for offices. We have a lot of work during the day, whether it's training or doing reports or just generally taking care of the shift that we need to do. At this particular station, Station 3, we do have an assistant chief that works out of here. That person has their own office where they need to manage what's going on throughout the day with the shift and staffing, and as well as running calls out of here. The captain has their own office as well. What the captain does is at this specific station is in charge of both the fire truck that's here as well as the ambulance. And so with all those personnel responsibilities as well as running calls and reports, that's where they work out of. And generally for the rest of the crew, which is somewhere around 5 to 6 individuals, we have rooms to write reports, and we have additional training rooms and other rooms where people can work. Walking into our living area, I think it's important to recognize that we work 48-hour shifts. So in the evenings, after 5 o'clock, after work is done, we may have the opportunity to catch a game or something else as long as we're not running calls. And this gives us the opportunity to do that. When we go into our kitchen, I think this gives you a great reason to know why we go to the grocery store. When you see fire trucks at the grocery store, what we're doing. Well, so for 2 days working for 48 hours, we buy all our meals at the grocery store, and then we come in here and cook. Just like you guys do at home. So everybody has their own fridge on each shift as well as their own pantry, and then we cook those meals here. Going into the sleeping side of things, we've got a couple different things that are significant. We have our own laundry room, which again is important when we're here for 48 hours. The opportunity to wash and clean our clothes and bedding is very important for hygiene. And walking into where our beds are, we keep the kind of sleeping quarters over on one side of the building. It gives us both easy access out to where our fire apparatus are, as well as kind of keeping it a little bit quieter for those people that have been up all night running calls. We have 11 bedrooms here at this station, and the reason we built it with so many bedrooms is we want to give ourselves as a city the opportunity to expand. So if we need to put another apparatus here or numerous other people working at this station, that's already in place as far as infrastructure goes, and we don't need to go back and try to make it bigger or better, and that's really important for us, especially because the old station was so small. Back out on the apparatus floor, we had doors facilitated as many places as possible, so that way when we're sleeping at night and a call comes out, we can make our way out fairly quickly to get out onto the truck if we need to and run a call. On the other side of the station, we kind of have other stuff that we may want to keep separated if we want to. Physical fitness is very important to us as firefighters. So in order to better ourselves and make sure we're as healthy as we can to do this job, we have our own gym facility here that we kind of go throughout the day when we can and get an opportunity to come in and work out. Our goal when we run calls, when we get back to the station after calls, our goal is to get ready to go back as soon as we can to run another call. So we have the opportunity or capability here to fill up our air tanks. When you see firefighters wear the big air tanks on their backs and they use those in a fire, we can come back and fill those up and make sure that we're ready to go again when we're wanting to go run another call. We have our own workshop here. We work on a lot of our tools and making sure that everything's clean and operational, and this gives us the capability to do that, again, to make sure that we have everything we need and we're as capable as we can be running calls throughout the city. Cancer prevention is very important in the fire service right now. Because of that, we have an extractor machine, and what this does is gives us the capability when we come back from a fire, we can put our bunker gear into this machine and get all that really nasty crud off of our gear. Again, kind of getting back to that cancer prevention mode, allowing us to be as clean as we possibly can for the next call. And finally is our bunker gear room. We each have our own individual locker. This gives us the opportunity to store our gear when we're not here working in between shifts, as well as keep a clean extra set on here in case we do run a fire and we need to clean our current gear. Typically, this is where your day starts off at the fire station. You come in and get your gear and put it on wherever you're working that day, and then you end the same way, bring your stuff back to your locker to go home after working. This is Med 3. This ambulance just currently moved into the station from Station 7. Station 3, since we've had it built, has turned into one of our busiest stations in the city. Therefore, we wanted to provide the best care in the closest unit as we could. So we moved one of our ambulances up, and this became Med 3 for this particular instance. Out of this station, we also have Pumper 3. And that's a fire apparatus that they utilize to run the calls on this west end of the city. The last vehicle that you see is the chief's vehicle. We have 2 shift chiefs on shift every day, and they split the city. And this chief running out of this station typically covers the west and south area of the city, while our chief of Station 2 covers kind of that northeast section of our city, and they divide it up evenly.
Thank you for going on a tour with us today. If you have any other questions about the Lee Summit Fire Department, please go to our webpage at lsfire.net or follow us on Facebook at Lee Summit Fire Department.
Thanks for joining us on the tour.
Councilmember Hodges.
Thank you. I love where you guys are coming from. You're local and you're all kind of coming together. But where I'm struggling with from the last time that we talked about this, I think it was maybe October.
I actually grew up in my district. We moved here my sophomore year in high school. My parents still live in the same house, and I just went through high school here and then have stayed in Lee Summit ever since. The neighborhood that my parents live in is Canterbury. My favorite thing, and I still do to this day, is I love to go running. They have the best sidewalks. I feel you can go for days. So now I still get to do that. Since I live not too far from them, I get to use those same routes that I took during high school, and it's just fun. All right, let's see it, Joe. Come on. We're a big soccer family. I love sports, I love to watch sports, and it's even more fun to watch sports when my kids are in it. I coach my middle daughter Josie's team. I have since kindergarten. We do the basketball, we do softball, we're gonna do volleyball, and it's just so much fun. Something that I would like to accomplish while on city council is to get more family activities here. You know, I don't want to have to be driving my family to, say, the Kansas side or any other city but my own and I want to be able to invest in our city and make family memories in our city.
Open the public hearing in the matter of K1 Speed, Diventures,
Crack Shack, Blue Jeans Golf.
Councilmember Hodges.
I just want to say thank you for bringing us to Lee Summit, because I grew up at this. My grandpa would take us there, so I'm excited that now I can take my kids there.
Bill number 23-0, pre-construction services for the downtown Market Plaza project.
I'm just as excited as everybody else about the downtown marketplace. I'm extremely excited about the community that it's going to bringing more family things to do to the city and right in the heart of it.
When you presented the numbers, the first time you came to us, it was 25.5%, and then a lot of...
You know, people were like, oh, you know, being on council, it's not a lot of work, not a lot of... I think it was a bit of a surprise when there's so much info that you realize you just don't know. Even something as simple as sidewalks. It's like you don't realize how much goes into something like that. After a couple months, I'm like, okay, I'm finally, you know, catching the groove of how things work, learning new things, but also feel like I've got some things under my belt as well. It's been a great experience so far.
Good evening, everyone. I want to call to order the Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, April 10th, 2025, the Lee Summit Planning Commission meeting for April 10th, 2025. Can I get a roll call, please?
Sherry Frazier.
Present.
Jake Lovelace.
Present.
Terry Trafton.
Present.
Dana Arth.
Present.
Chip Tuzinski. Benbrug.
Present.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Chair, I move to approve the agenda.
All right. Can we get a vote on that, too?
Yes.
Jake Lovelace.
Yes.
Terry Trafton.
Yes.
Dana Arth.
Yes.
Randy Benbrook,
Yes.
All right, so we will move on to public comments. If anyone here has a public comment related to the Planning Commission's business in general, now's the time to come forward, and it looks like we have none. So we will move on to the consent agenda. We have 2 items. Well, first of all, you may notice that item B is about the materials. It's the 75%, over 75, was it up to 75% of the?
This one's actually relevant to a parking lot setback.
Oh, so it wasn't.
Same concept where this is the new
Okay.
procedure for Planning Commission's final action on parking lot setbacks.
Okay, all right. So we've made some changes that have moved things to the consent agenda because we've changed some of the standards, so that's what that item is. So it's on the consent agenda now. We have item A, 2025-6877, approval of the March 27th, 2025 Planning Commission action letter. Item B, application PL 2025-056, preliminary development plan, lawn and leisure of Lee Summit 706 Southeast Blue Parkway, Thomas Craft applicant.
Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, can we get a vote on that, please?
Carrie Fraser,
Yes.
Jake Lovelace,
Yes.
Terry Trafton,
Yes.
Dana Arth,
Yes.
Randy Benbrook.
Yes.
Okay. We will move on to the public hearing section of the meeting, and we have public hearing application PL 2024-327, special use permit renewal for mini warehouse facility, StorageMart, 953 Southeast Oldham Parkway, new TKG-Storage Mart Partners Portfolio applicant. Is the applicant here for, okay, first of all, we need to swear in anyone who might give testimony or talk about this application. If you would come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please.
Chairperson Arth and members of the Planning Commission, my name is John Mullane with Rouse Fretz White Goss Law Firm, 4510 Bellevue, Kansas City, Missouri. Here on behalf of StorageMart, also with me is David Clark of StorageMart. We are here before you tonight for the renewal of a special use permit for the property at 953 Southeast Oldham Parkway to continue operating a mini warehouse facility. StorageMart acquired this property back in 2018, but has been in the city of Lee Summit since 2014 or 2015 and operates 6 facilities in the city. We have a good relationship with the city and hope to continue that good relationship, be able to operate the facility. So we thank you for your consideration and request approval of the special use permit. Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess Mr. McGuire is going to give the presentation for the city.
Right. Good evening, Commissioners. Shannon McGuire, Planning Manager. Please enter into the record Exhibit A, list of exhibits 1 through 16.
Exhibit A, 1 through 16 noted and entered into the record.
All right. As the applicant stated, they are here to request renewal of a special use permit for the continued operation of the existing mini warehouse facility there. This location has been in existence since, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. This particular site has been in existence since 2005. There are no changes or expansions to the existing facility at this time with this application. The subject property is zoned PI and is located on the south side of Oldham Parkway, just west of the intersection at Southeast Bridgehampton Way. Properties surrounding it are a mix of residential and commercial. Commercial, kind of the north side on the eastern property line. It was the residential kind of on the south side of the eastern property line as well as the south property line. Some PI or planned industrial zone properties kind of down here to the southwest. It was and then commercial to the west as well. North of the property, across Oldham Parkway, is US 50 highway. The land use comp plan future land use does identify the property as commercial in nature. One of the objectives spelled out in our comp plan is to stimulate the continued economic development and investment by the private sector. This particular application does do that by supporting the continued viability of the site and offering a service to the community. Again, no changes to the existing building or site are being proposed. The property currently has 19 single-story buildings with a total square footage of a little over 65,000 square feet of structure space there. The applicants did hold a neighborhood meeting in February. One member of the public did attend to that, and the conversation centered around the existing berm on the eastern and southern property lines. Staff has not received any written or phone call of opposition or in favor of the particular application. Again, the property has been there since 2006, and since that time, there has been no zoning or property maintenance cases filed with the city. As part of the standard procedure for the renewal process, staff did conduct an on-site visit, and we did identify a couple issues that needed to be addressed. There was some fencing that needed to be repaired, as well as some landscaping to be installed. So the applicant has made those repairs and installed the required landscaping. And with that, the property is in compliance with all UDO regulations at this time. So with the conditions of approval as I have outlined here and in the staff letter, the application does meet the goals of the Ignite Comprehensive Plan and the requirements of the UDO, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Shannon. Do we have any public comments pertaining to this application? All right, seeing none, I will open up the public hearing, I will close public, no, I will not close public hearing. I'll open it up to the commission to ask any questions that you might have.
You mentioned that at the neighborhood meeting, there was a comment on landscape or berm?
According to the applicant's notes, the conversation was about the existing landscaping and berming on the south side. Specifics, you'd have to speak with the applicant on that.
But it sounds like that's been addressed.
Yes.
Commissioner Lovelace, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Commissioner Trafton?
Yeah, I was curious. I know we just approved an application just east of this for some duplexes from someone that sits right directly, on the other side of that tree line. Was that one of the neighbors that the applicant spoke to? I guess it's to the applicant. Sorry, Shannon. I think it was on that southeast 10th Street right there, that lot that abuts up to your property.
That was not the neighbor that appeared. The neighbor that did appear indicated he had reached out to the prospective developer of, I believe, that facility on the cul-de-sac there.
Yeah, because I think they own the duplex that's there as well.
And this is just, it's been a month recollection what the text was. I think that person said they didn't plan to attend or appear at the neighborhood meeting, and they didn't. It was just another neighbor that owns, I think, property slightly farther south.
Okay. Great, thank you. Further questions?
Commissioner Benbrook?
No questions at this time, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. We will close public hearing. Oh, never mind. Commissioner Lovelace?
Yeah, just a question for staff. So I was trying to be able to pull up some images there, and because you guys' packet had a handful more images, I think, than what you showed here in this presentation, but I was able to pull some of those up, and it looked like there's a section of fence that's trying to get my bearings. It would be on the east side of the property that like it's in a little bit of disrepair. Is that the section of fence that you guys were talking about that you addressed when you were out there visiting?
Yes.
Okay. Did we change up that fence type, or is it still chain link with? Okay.
It's going to be chain link, just fixed so it's in good repair.
Okay. And then as far as it looked like none of the landscaping's been maintained on the front of that building, what were the obligations of, so if you go back to that last picture, yeah, that one right there, you can see there's a handful of those different beds that are there that clearly haven't been maintained. What are the obligations of the applicant with respects to those items?
So moving forward, the expectation is that they do maintain the required landscaping that is there. They did install 9 trees and 54 shrubs in that area, and they will be required to maintain those as part of this approval.
Okay. It looked like at the approach coming off of the MoDOT road that there's it's in a little bit of rough shape. It looks like they've kind of tried to piece it in with some asphalt that might have been MoDOT work. It looks like they did replace some concrete there on their approach, at least within the last year or so. Did you guys notice any of that? Is that in better shape than what it was in these photos that I have?
Yeah, so the planner that oversaw this application has indicated to me that the site is in compliance, so we'll take a look at that. If there's additional work that needs to be done, we'll address that.
Okay. And then I guess there's one last question. There's on the western side of the property, there's a handful of, looks like just kind of open storm drain pipes that are exposed and just kind of look a little bit crummy, that are angling towards a section that would go underneath. I think that's Oldham that's there. Are we doing anything to kind of address some of the erosion that's existing with those and try to clean that area up?
Definitely take a look at that.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We will close public hearing, and I will leave it up to anybody to make a motion or to have, if you have comments. Do you have anybody have comments? Commissioner Trafton.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate and thank the city and the applicant for improving the area with the landscaping. I think as Commissioner Lovelace indicated in his questions, I too have some concerns. I don't know that we're going to see the full benefit of those shrubs for a couple years, or those trees, but I appreciate them being maintained and planted. So at some point we'll see the benefit of that. I always like to see a mix of evergreen trees in addition to that, and I know that's a personal preference and not something that we have in code yet, but anyway, I think I still appreciate the improvement of the area, so thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Trafton. Commissioner Lovelace. Commissioner Frazier. Okay, so now we need a motion.
Chair?
Yes.
I move to recommend to City Council for approvals, application PL 2024-327 special use permit, renewal for mini warehouse facility StorageMart 953 Southeast Oldham Parkway, new TKG-Storage Mart Partners Portfolio applicant.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Sherry Frazier,
Yes.
Drake Lovelace,
Yes.
Terry Trafton,
Yes.
Dana Arth,
Yes.
Randy Benberg.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We will move on to Our next application, PL 2024-280, special use permit renewal for mini warehouse facility StorageMart, 465 Southeast Oldham Parkway, new TKG-Storage Mart Portfolio, new TKG-Storage Mart Partners Portfolio applicant. And, if any, well, you're all standing, so we need to be sworn in. Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation for this application?
No presentation, just much the same comments. Again, John Mullane, Rouse, Fretz, White, Goss Law Firm, 4510 Bellevue, and David Clark is here with me. We'll defer to the staff. We're in agreement with their recommendation, report, and conditions, and we appreciate your consideration. And now I can start my 80-slide presentation for the very brief meeting tonight to keep us here for a couple hours. How's that sound?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, Shannon McGuire, Planning Manager. Please enter the record Exhibit A, list of exhibits 1 through 16.
Exhibit A, list of exhibits 1 through 16 noted and entered into the record.
The applicant is requesting renewal of a special use permit for the continued operation of the existing mini warehouse facility. This particular location has been and use has been in existence since 1978. There are no changes or expansions of the proposed facility with this application. Again, the subject site is located on the southeast along the south side of Southeast Oldham Parkway there, just south of US 50 highway. The facility is surrounded by PI-zoned properties, with many of the structures being built in the 1970s and 80s that surround it. Immediately adjacent to the property, the uses are kind of automotive in nature, and they also include outdoor storage of vehicles, equipment, and which is all kind of complementary to the proposed continuation of the existing use. So the future land use map does identify this area in the future land use map as mixed use for any kind of future development or redevelopment of the area. That's what we would see, but the current use is something that is allowed. Again, one of the objectives outlined in our comp plan is the continued economic development and investment in the private sector. This particular application does allow for that with the continued use and service provided by the proposed applicant. No changes to the existing structure or exterior site alterations are proposed. This particular property has 18 single-story buildings with a total square footage of a little over 87,000 square feet of structure space. Again, current configuration has been in use on this site since 1978. The applicant did hold a public meeting February 6th, and no members attended that meeting. Or no members of the public attended that meeting, and staff has not received any comment for or against the particular project. Since the iteration of the existence of the property, no zoning violation cases related to site maintenance has been filed. However, as part of the application process, we do a site visit and identified a couple issues that needed to be addressed. Mainly, there were some issues with some repair work that needed to be done on this pole sign there, as well as some landscaping that was missing that was required by the previous SUP ordinance. And then the applicant has made those repairs and installed the required landscaping as well. One thing that we will point out is that under the previous special use permit, one of the conditions that was required at that time was a vinyl clad chain link fence. That was not installed by the previous owners. So staff, the applicant has requested and staff is in agreement that the current that particular condition be removed because the existing chain link fence is in good order, and it wasn't done under this particular applicant or this ownership. So since we have a fence that does meet all standards, we are in agreement with the removal of that particular condition. So with the conditions of approval as outlined here and in the staff letter, the application does meet the goals of the Ignite Comprehensive Plan as well as the requirements of the UDO, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Shannon. Do we have any public comments on this application? I see none, so I'm going to go with Commissioner Benbrook if you have any questions.
Just a verification. You said you looked at the chain link fence and it was in good repair?
Correct. Looks like the gate is sagging in this picture. Is that not what was? It has been since repaired. Yep.
Commissioner Trafton? Loveless, Commissioner Frazier. Okay. All right. I guess we will. Does anybody have comments? I have one that I read in my packet that the colors were muted, and I kind of laughed because they fit with the surrounding areas, but I consider the other location more muted. But I think it looks like Chiefs, kind of like a Chiefs color scheme. But anyway, I just thought it was a little bit funny.
There is a Chiefs flag in the window of the door there.
Oh yeah, there is.
So
just very observant like that. All right, so I guess we are ready to get a motion on this one. Oh, we're going to, I was supposed to close public hearing before the comments, so we'll close that. We'll do a vote now. Motion first. Yep.
I move to recommend approval to the City Council application PL 2024-280, special use permit renewal for mini warehouse facility Storage Mart 465 Southeast Oldham Parkway, new TKG-Storage Mart Partners Portfolio applicant.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Sherry Frazier,
Yes.
Jake Loveless,
Yes.
Terry Trafton,
Yes.
Dana Arth,
Yes.
Randy Benbrook.
Yes.
All right, the motion passes. And we are to Roundtable. Does anybody from city have anything? Planning commissioners have anything? Wow, everybody's quiet tonight. Everybody wants out of here. I do have one thing, Shannon. When we talked the other day, did we talk about materials as one of the things that goes onto the consent agenda, or did I imagine that whole conversation? Okay, but that brings up a point. We've got the materials, and we've also got the setbacks.
material setback, and I believe rooftop screening as well.
The what?
I think there's a screening option as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so those things we're going to start seeing on the consent agenda. It's an you've already administratively approved it, and we're just.
Those, we'll use the materials as an example there. So now, previously, if you remember, that metal was not it was a conditional material, and that any use of it required city council approval. Now that's been updated to a staggered approval. So up to a certain percentage, staff can approve it administratively. Beyond that, up to 75%, Planning Commission can approve that. Anything over that 75% has to go back, still has to go to the City Council. So in the next couple of weeks, you will actually see a materials come before you, and it's at that 75%. So when you're reviewing those particular applications, it is a very narrow scope which you guys are reviewing. You're reviewing the question, is the material okay? Is the setback okay? Or is the proposed screening option okay? Everything else related to that particular application is administratively approvable. So the application that will come before you, like the one today, it was narrow in scope of, is the setback okay? That answer your
Yes,
question?
I just wanted you to explain it so that everybody understood that typically speaking, we don't pull those off because we have to stay in our lane with, as far as what our purview is on.
Yeah, you
the
can always pull them
application.
off if you want further clarification or if you had questions regarding on that narrow scope, yes.
Okay, all right.
So will there be I guess, a section in the staff report that specifically outlines what is needing approval?
Yes.
When it comes before us?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think anybody has anything else, so I'm going to adjourn the meeting at, oh, that's what, I had a note about that. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. We do have a new planning commissioner. She's out in the camera probably can't see you, so.
Hiding in the audience.
Her name is Jessica Rono, and we welcome you to the Planning Commission, and you will be joining us. I guess your first meeting will be the joint meeting with City Council on the 22nd. Is that the 22nd?
I have not talked to her about that, but she will be here at least on the 24th.
Okay. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So, but for everybody else, just remember we have 2 meetings that week. One on Tuesday, the 22nd at 6, and then we have our normal meeting on the 24th at 5.
Yep.
Right. So I'm going to adjourn us at 5:29 p.m.